So I just figured this out, that today is like, I'm trembling, my voice is trembling. This day is like my rebirth day in this really weird way, and I didn't ever anticipate talking about this, and that's why this is such a cleansing to have this come through in this supernatural way. Supernatural. Today is the release of the podcast, and it is all just so supernaturally channeled that even down to the day, like, just need to get it done, like on the calendar, like feeling it pressure me in the most wonderful way, right? Like, listen to me, open your voice, get it out. Like, go. Like the gates are opening, right? And the horse behind the gate, so to speak. And this release, right? And when I wrote out the date, I was like, oh, amazing. 102223. The triple twos, of course. And this 123, 12223. Like, come on, let's go. And in another just miraculous layer, I only came to the conclusion that this feels like a rebirth day because something I never do actually, or haven't done since being way behind the curtain, way behind the scenes, is plugging in or tapping in with people to the point of like happy birthday on Facebook. It just hasn't really not been my space of participation, right? So extremely strange. So there was a woman who I'd worked with and just wanted to, in a coaching realm, and wanted like always see her come through, right? And not a point of connection, I've been so unplugged, right? I've processed so many things, and that takes a dear unplugging at times of that processes. And was opening up to share happy birthday with her, and the person right below her, even, I love when it's like tabs. And the spirit finds you in these tabs. Let me tell you, the following, the intuitive nudge of just being open to even looking or saying happy birthday, right? Like a readiness for that. That's an intuitive nudge I can hear. Not a curiosity, not a, like, just a genuine, like, happy moment to connect. And the person underneath. So I didn't even get to connect there yet, right? I've drilled down to a place where I'm in acknowledgement, I'm in truth, I'm in witnessing. Underneath her is a gentleman who I spoke to the day of my suicide, right? And I'm going to just lay it out plainly that there was a day that I was in the all the way done, all the way gone, notes written, edge of the earth. And right, of course, my husband met me in that space, right? Came to me there, and there were, of course, supernatural prayers and many voices, and like, it's not my time to be out of here, right? Like, it's a brave choice both directions, and I'm just saying stay here. I'm just saying stay for a while. Keep staying. A real key ticket in the podcast to show up and keep going. And keep going is just where you live for a more time than show up. The balance of those two spaces is where there is a real incredible frequency. Incredible. And there are several other harmonies to holding a beautiful frequency that's sort of like a trumpet sound. Like a dance. This gentleman underneath her was a gentleman I spoke to. I did a series called Love Unleashed, right? And I haven't been into that space and rewatched it, but it was really just like these 10 nuggets of life, right? Like the culmination of my wisdom. To bring forth the culmination of my wisdom actually put me at the edge of suicide. And in experience with people and an experience with humans, so unbelievable at the time. And I'm talking the ugliest parts of unbelievable in several directions. The spiritual, emotional, physical, financial RAPE of beings. Like unbelievable. Point in time. And that was my channeling during that time. Not channeling, that was like a wisdom pour out. Here's my top 10 if I was going to share the top 10 things with people. And it literally took me into a place of vacuum. Almost so consuming, not sharing the wisdom, but the people showing up and the way that people showed up and the characters that showed up when I was going through that excavation, that sharing, that creation, that God space. I saw a lot around me that wasn't God's space when I was standing in God's space. And it took me to the edge of myself, my humanness, my body, to the carving on my chest, to the edge of a bridge, right? Like to be in the threshold, the crossover space. And I didn't expect to see this today, this birthday of this gentleman who I spoke to on like the last day of this talk, of this series, of this summit of me sharing wisdom. And he came through this trickling of, I was looking for a speaker. I was looking for like another speaker, a last speaker, a so-and-so speaker. And someone to come and connect with me because the series is called Love Unleashed. And so this was the character that shows up in the inbox that I thought was like a bot or like a sales. And it was, he just has a magazine or whatever. Brilliant human who I was like, oh, you're all about love and this and that and whatever. Why don't you come speak at my summit? And he was like, okay, I'm in Australian time, but I would love to connect. And trembling. And he and we set up a time. This is the gentleman I spoke to on the day of suicide at my complete edge. I came home trembling and I said, I'm just going to turn on the camera. And I'm just going to cover up. And I'm going to stay here. I'm just going to be in this moment. And he offered me actually a channeling at the end of this. And I was not ready to hear so much of my life. I'm like, I already know. And I'm not ready to hear because once I hear, then there's accountability to me showing up in new ways, right? Trust me, we can try to turn off and run from and pause and mute our blessings. They don't change. It's just us taking space from receiving. Like, I don't know if I can handle all that. That's very big. I tremble. I look at these trees around me and I know your bigness. I know that you're everything. I know that you're this entire space place. This is the gentleman that showed up that taught me math, right? Of course, he gets me into math. In the math. And the tipping point of consciousness math. I'm here for it. I'm so here for that. I'm so here for the science and the spirit. I'm so here for the connection of all things and all beings, into a heaven on earth. Like the baseline for me is heaven on earth. However, we get there, that's my calling. That's us. We're the heaven on earth. Sorry, we're the line in the sand. Here to call it in and to be it. This is what makes dynamic the shift show. to show up, to keep going, to keep going, to keep going. When you're breathless, like there's oxygen to be breathed into your lungs, that there is a spiritual mouth to mouth happening as we breathe together, that there is an of experience for us to be with. Yeah. That there is a pleasure that is so pure to enjoying life, the delight of life, the gift of having a vessel, of being here, of getting to wield frequency in this space. It's not little, but it's big. Yeah. And it's important that it's just the right size. That you're a dose for those in your presence, right? And there is a softening at times for those in your presence so that you can be sweet like honey. Yeah, delicious. Yeah, you get to be delicious. You're delicious. So delicious. And the taste in their mouth, although for some it will be bitter. Yeah, all kinds of flavors. It's important to be flavorful. And to what palate you would like to appeal. I'm gonna cancel, delete that. There is this thing called appeal. Of course, I can't not say this because it would be me not using my voice, and the voice, it's here to be used. The false covering of fruits, right? Like the false skin being put on something that will make its way into our flesh and will be a diminisher. It's like a plastic. It's not a peel, it's a plastic. You don't want it. Stop ruining the food, please. Hey, instead of focusing out, we're going to have to focus in. What food can I create here? How clean can I make the soil that I'm growing my food in? How and where, what's the best source for that? That's a calling. And there is a calling for some to use their mouths to stand against, and therein lies a space, a frequency. And there are some that are called to stand in responsibility, standing with their feet in the earth, saying, I choose to heal. I choose to heal here. I choose to heal her. And the earth. Her. It's her. The trembling we feel. The trembling. $13:33 on the clock right there. May I hold the space of the trembling, and may Mother Earth always hold me sweetly, softly in her bosom if she is to tremble. That there's a supernatural restoration and a reclamation, and this beautiful holding space with Mama Earth. I'm going to ask you to come hold space with me in Mama Earth. I'm going to ask you to hold space on Mama Earth with me wherever our light beams stand. 14:14 on the clock. Stop it. Hold space on the earth. Light beam. Be with it. Wherever you are. Even if that means a rooftop garden. A bit of sand. Some grass. The rocks are the earth's. Blessed, he spoke to me that day and he did math, this gentleman. In the Love Unleashed series. Whew. And today's his birthday. And so it's so strange that down in this place where I wouldn't have been, except for to just be now in a space that is open. See that? 102223. And so because he was born, and we connected over this obscure experience of messenger and then speaking to each other across the globe in that day. There was an anchor, something that held me there that got to shift the equation. Things that I didn't hear, but I got to hear. That I was literally on the altar, my life, the whole thing of it, all of it, on the altar. 1555, wow. That I am, what was channeled through book club, the story. Yeah, not... It's just capital I, capital A, I am. This is not me. Sarah something is not the story. She's one story. She's part of the story. But her story is everybody's story. It's you. It's you. You're the one. You're the one. Then it's his birthday today, and he was born, and I thought, what a rebirth. What a rebirth, and what an acknowledgement to acknowledge. Of course, this is where we would start. And my rebirth. It's interesting when you are at the threshold of going to the other side, how every day beyond that, you actually have a different experience of life. You have sensational changes. You are then in like a baby being reborn again. Like, what actually matters? What am I actually here for? What in the actual fuck? And it's like actually one breath at a time, one moment at a time, one thought at a time, one nap at a time, one resurrection at a time. It's like sometimes one grain of sand off the grave as you're raising. And sometimes you're like, oh, come out the grave. Come out the grave. You know, be careful of the pace with which you come out of the grave, because you don't want to be too wobbly when you stand up either. Don't be jumping in and out of the grave. It's a total death. And a beautiful resurrection. Yo. Of course, a softening. Takes a while. Enjoy it. It's the process of resurrection, of connection. Bits and pieces that we're actually learning to receive this life and life abundant, because it's a lot, and we're sifting supernaturally now the shift that is not of this place. Yeah, it's not of our home, our supernatural heavenly home, because I am heaven, I'm a story. Yeah, in my heavenly home, this is the frequency, this is what shows up, and there's stuff around that wants to be darkness. Cool, I still get to show up as the frequency of light. Because I can supernatural process my shift. 1855 on the clock. I'm the shift show, and I take the space I need to be in beautiful harmony, to ground in. I am a lightning pole. If there's something that I could give you that is the shift show, it's this frequency of shift and this power of shifting. My face. And that you can find it in all the moments. And the moments like we hold captive, that we decide, that we're in choice, that we choose. It's a moment. It's a moment. One moment. Yeah, one moment. And the stretchiness, the stretchy band of momming, of the moment, of caring for others, of being in the mix of doing life, Because check it, we're all children and we're all mamas. And there's a lot of papa. There is a great, great father. Yeah, actually. Perfect, loving, kind. That space, that shifting, those wounds, we release attachment to the pain with our perceived association of divine with divine, and male or female or masculine or feminine, or however you want to play itself against itself, however you want to play itself against itself, fine. Let's just acknowledge the wounding of divine against divine. Stop. Don't be that frequency. Quit wrestling. We're here to dance. And there's this dancing with the darkness. There's this dark embrace. There is this, what begins to remind us of the experience of being usurped by darkness is not in fact light holding the darkness. Yes, light can hold the darkness. Embrace. Yeah, we embrace it. So it's no longer thrashing around at the party. There is a supernatural love that can hold darkness. And it's what I'm sorry. That was in the contract for this lifetime. I know you want to be angry and try to escape it. It was in the contract for this lifetime. I am removing it from the contract so that those beyond me, those that come in any lineage beyond me, don't have to come in signing that contract anymore. To embrace darkness. Yeah, I'm going to squeeze it so tight. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to love it. It's going to be able that we can dance in a shadow and a light because it's so important to have contrast. Come on, 2222. Stop it. That dance is beauty, is texture, is creation, is where we can hold a frequency even within those extremes differently of delight. 44, 22. That it's here to be felt, to be seen. It's available like storehouses overflow. And like real life example, I went into a store yesterday and the lady was just full of genuine light, delighted. She was living her dream. She has this booming online store, right? A culture of people she's tapped into where there is so much delight. And she's in creation. She has now a brick and mortar store in the tiniest little cow farm town up here, but she's a hit. I mean, this like line around the block in one cow town. Incredible fanfare. Great in the marketing and the media, 2333. In the connection. And came inside and she just gave me a hug. She had a little bag of popcorn. She was like just living in the highest. Like just truly having a genuinely beautiful morning. Genuinity. Authenticity. 55 on the clock. Speaks crazy more volumes, 4,000 times more potent than, there it is. We live in authenticity with our spirit, and when we can connect, truly divine design, authentic moments of pleasure, of delight, happiness. Even happiness feels like a cluttered word. It's tragedy how much value has been lost in our language alone. Words do not mean. Now we must speak in frequency and really edify our speech, our language. That is a dynamic shift. That's a dynamic shift. If you were with me through the autocorrect series, I was a little spicy. I'm getting a little hotter, barely warming up. But there is an anger. There is a very clear and well-filtered eye to see. Well-filtered. A lot of observing for a long time, and removal of my own judgment, removal of my own emotion, just simply watching. 20, 30, to observe, to lean out. There's such a ticket in there. There's such a ticket in there. And so to lean in today and to go through this trickle, to find this place, this piece, and get to pour forth so much. In the first download of the shift show, like this already clears it from my plate, which leaves me to my entire day, which is what I asked for from Spirit. And I thought it had to look like 5:55 in the morning on my mat in my studio with my perfect lights and my humidifier, right? Like I wanted it to be this blissful moment of my design. It's so beautiful and perfect. And here I'm in pajamas. This is rough cut. This is taking kiddo to her morning job, her Sunday morning support, where she supports a farm, a ranch. Like there is this isness to just showing up in life and saying, okay, now I can hit record. I'm just going to hit record. I'm just going to be it. Whatever, wherever that is for you, you feel it and you know it and you lean into it and you lean out from this world and observe with love and kindness, with loving kindness. That was 26:55 in the clock. That's a good half hour shift show. Enter in music in the front, enter in music in the back, lights, camera, action. No, we'll get there. It's fine. Show up. I love you so, so much.